Hello everyone and welcome back to SkShadow, and today I'm going to be doing another sort of top 10 thing, but instead of a top 10 I'm going to be ranking all of the perks in Call of Duty Zombies from worst to best. Now, I'm going to be doing all the perks from World at War all the way to Black Ops 3. I'm not going to do Black Ops 4 perks because there's quite a few new ones in there and I don't actually know what they all do. My opinion only stands for Treyarch Zombies all the way up to Black Ops 3. This is only my opinion, so if I rate a perk that you really like lower than what you would put it, don't leave hate, just put your own opinion in the comments. If you want to get involved in pitching at where these perks should be, you can join the Discord where we actually talk about these things before I make the videos, so there's that. So yeah, let's just go into ranking all, I think 14 perks, is it? Pretty sure it's 14, I don't know. There'll be a graphic to show how many there are. Let's go. The worst perk in Zombies, coming right the way down at the bottom. It's between two perks, and in the end I've gone with Tombstone. Now, Tombstone is a bit of a strange perk, really. Well, it's not, but you can only get it in co-op as a start, so single player can't even use it, won't see it anywhere. It's a perk only in Black Ops 2, and it is a perk that gives you the incentive to actually die, where what you do is you buy your Tombstone and then nothing really happens until you die, and then it will give you the option to actually kill yourself. It will say, don't feed me to the zombies, so you don't. What then happens? You've left your teammates to fight for themselves, so instead of them using quick revive, say, going all the way up to you to revive you, you've said, nah, I'm just going to kill myself. You've got to survive on whatever round on your own until the next round, where you come back, you go to your spot, pick up all your stuff, so you keep all your perks and all your weapons. Sounds good, it's not. You're leaving your teammates for dead. That's why it is literally the worst perk. There's so much better than it, something that will actually prevent you from dying in the first place. The second to worst perk in Zombies, it's Who's Who. Now, there's absolutely nothing I like about this perk. What can I say? It's Who's Who. The idea of the perk sounds brilliant, but it's not. So the idea of the perk is you go down and you'll come back as like a ghost sort of thing to revive yourself. So you come back with, like, I think you come back with just a starting pistol, and you revive yourself, keep all your stuff. It's just not very good. There's just no point using it. Maybe if you... It costs 2,000, so there's plenty of perks that cost 2,000 that will actually help you survive. So you could spend 2,000 on stamina, you could spend 2,000 on electric cherry, or save up another 500 points and get jug, or on single player, spend 500 and get quick revive, where you will be revived back for 1,500 points cheaper. The perk is just pointless. It is a horrible perk, and it is pretty much, in my opinion, just as bad, if not worse, than Tombstone. The next perk I've gone for is Double Tap 1.0, so the original Double Tap from World at War and Black Ops 1. Now, the idea of the perk sounds good. It basically increases your fire rate by pretty much 50%, which sounds good, but it's only good if you got a gun that shoots really slow. So in Black Ops 1, maybe the HK, the LMG, shoots really slow, helpful for that. Any other gun, you're going to burn through ammo like there's no tomorrow. So when I play World at War and Black Ops 1, normally I won't even buy the perk. If I feel like it, I might as well, because whatever. But you just burn through ammo so quickly. In games like World at War and Black Ops 1, the guns don't have a lot of ammo to start with anyway, especially the SMGs. So there's really no point buying it. You might as well just save your points, buy something else. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bad perk. Alright, so the next perk I've gone with Deadshot. I'm going to say sorry to Paul already. I know Deadshot is theoretically a good perk, but hey. Right, so Deadshot, what does it do? It basically gives you better headshot accuracy, so when you're aiming, you're more likely to ping straight to the zombie heads, and when you're hip firing, the recoil is tightened, so there's less recoil, which it actually is a really good perk, and I like the perk. And at 1500 points, you can't really complain. But my problem with with the perk is that there's just better options than it. I mean, it comes to the point where you've got your jug, you've got your speed cola, and your double tap 2, and the options are you could get Deadshot or Stamina, Deadshot or Electric Cherry, Deadshot or Mule Kick, Deadshot or Quick Revive or something, and every other perk just is better than it. Not that it's a bad perk, and in maps say like Origins where you can have all the perks and you have it is very useful. But in maps where you have a perk limit, it is just not really worth taking up the perk slot. So yes, it is a good perk. Can you really have it taking up a slot? Is it that viable? No. That's why it's this far down the list. Right, so the next perk I've gone for is Electric Cherry. Now, Electric Cherry is a good perk. It's not bad, but again, there's just better than it. Yes, it's slightly better than Deadshot, and in normal Treyarch maps, so defaults, no modded stuff, the only time I find myself using it is if I got the Blundergat, because you shoot it and you've used all the ammo, so you get the maximum charge or electric charge that you can get, and that's actually quite useful. But when you've any other weapon, I just don't feel like it's that useful. And I mean, it is good, but not so good that it can take up a slot, a bit like the Deadshot. I would prefer it over Deadshot in most circumstances if I had to choose between the two, but again, there's just better choices than it. Right, so next I've gone with Mule Kick. Now, personally, I really like Mule Kick, and because I play a lot of the modded zombie stuff, Mule Kick is really good because there's no perk limit, so you can buy as many perks as you want. Some maps don't do that, but for the most part, no perk limit, so you can have a third gun, and you've got all these modded weapons in from Modern Warfare 2, Advanced Warfare, and that, so you got some really nice weapons, and it's just nice to have a third weapon when they're all modded, so you can see a bit more of what the map maker's done, this and that. But in default maps, so Treyarch maps, it's just not good, because in those sorts of maps you're grinding for points at the start of a game, and that's the sort of time when you feel like you could need a third weapon, where you're like low on ammo, low on points, but you feel like I could use a third weapon because ammo's low, I'm only using an M14 or a Kar 98 or this or an Olympia or something, and you feel like I could use a third weapon. And then when you can finally afford it, because it costs 4,000 points, which is one of the most expensive perks, you don't need it, because you're so set up, you got your pack-a-punch stuff where you're thinking, oh, I could buy a third perk now other than the main ones. You just don't need it by then, and it just doesn't serve that purpose. You don't actually have a need for a third gun. The only times I probably would decide, oh, I'll get it, is if I'm on, say, the Ryzen track and I've got, say, like the lightning bow, a fully auto point gun if I need the points and other stuff, and a shotgun. But it's just not that good. The only times I find myself using it is, like I just said, with the Bose and that, if I have the wonder weapon of that map along with some other weapons that I don't really want to get rid of. Good perk, too expensive, not really useful all the time. Again, that's why it's this low. Alright, so next I'm actually going to say Quick Revive. So Quick Revive is actually a pretty useful perk in single player. You go down, it brings yourself back up normally, fine. In multiplayer, what it does is basically you revive your teammates quicker, which can be good. Most of the time it's a cheap perk, still 1500, in single player it's 500 points. It's fair enough. In World at War it was slightly different in single player, because it actually didn't do anything in single player. It didn't revive you, it still cost the same as it does in multiplayer. It does absolutely nothing. So in that game, single player is pointless, you got one life. Alright, so next I've actually gone with probably the first quite decent perk, and that is Vulture Aid. So Vulture Aid, only appeared in one map, and the one map was buried. Probably one of the easiest maps there is, and the perk's actually quite good. It's like 3 mini perks put together. I feel like they were going to have 3 different perks, but they didn't. They just squashed them all into one thing and priced it at 4,000. So Vault Trade basically allows you to see everything on the map on your screen. So you can see where Jug is, you can see where the box is, you can see all the wall weapons. And for me, I find that too much to look at on my screen. There's just a lot going on at that point, and I like to see where the zombies are at, not where everything else is, because if you play these default maps enough, you will eventually just know where things are. So there's that. Another ability of this perk is it gives you like 3 points and free ammo in like little bag drops on the floor, so that can be quite helpful. And the last one is like a green gas that you can stand in, and when you stand in it, the zombies will ignore you, so that is actually quite good feature. But when I'm not using the smoke, I find it just really annoying and I can't see through it, so the zombies can come from anywhere. And for the perk, it's really expensive. I don't feel like 4,000 points justifies what the perk does, because seeing through walls, fine, I guess that's alright. Getting free ammo and free points is alright, but you don't actually get a lot of it. And the only really decent part of the perk is that the zombies annoy you in the smoke, but to look at that on my screen is also really annoying. Right, so next I've gone with Stamina. This is a personal favourite perk. I really like this perk, really useful for when you're training, but a cheap perk as well. It's only 2,000, and with this perk it makes you run faster slightly, and it gives you, I think, plus 7% in stamina, I think, or it might be the speed is plus 7% and the stamina is just increased. But it is just a really good perk. You can get away from the zombies quite quickly. Training, very helpful. No point if you're camping, so it's really only useful in the big maps. So if you're playing Transit, Stamina Up is perfect for going through all that fog to get to the next areas. It's also good on Origins because that map is huge and you've got to go backwards and forwards to different places doing everything. I like this perk. This is the first perk that I really like, other than Mule Kick, but it's just an all-round solid perk. You don't always need it. In fact, it's like in the middle of the middle of all like the perks. Right, so the next perks, so we're getting into the fairly decent perks. I'm going to go with PhD Flopper. Now this perk is the biggest troll ever, because it's Treyarch putting it on the maps we don't really need it, and then in the maps we do need it, they put it off out of bounds and you can't get it. But the perk is very good. Basically, all explosive damage, splash damage weapons, all of that stuff is null and void. You will take no damage or any of that, and when you dolphin dive, you will when you dolphin dive on the floor, you will explode after like jumping off a certain height. So it is a really good perk. Makes the Mustang and Sally's very viable. Any explosive weapon very viable. The ray gun more viable than it's ever been with that perk. No splash damage for that, which is just absolutely insane. Makes it really good. Just a good perk, really. Right, so after PhD, I've gone with Double Tap 2.0, which is just a better version of the original Double Tap. So instead of just increasing your fire rate by 50%, Double Tap 2.0 increases your fire rate by, I think, a lot less. I think it's 33%. And it also doubles your bullet output. So you shoot once, it's like 2 bullets have left the gun. So essentially you're getting double damage. And this makes guns very good. So an average gun that is not very good, you'll get it to shoot slightly faster and you'll have double damage. So a lot of the time it makes your really crappy weapons a little bit better. And for the most part it is a big need. You do most of the time always buy Double Tap 2.0. It's never a time where you think, oh, I don't really need it, these guns are good. Depends what sort of challenges you're doing on maps, I suppose. Right, so the next perk, so this is a very good perk. I've gone with Widow's Wine. Now this perk is an incredible perk. Very good perk. This perk basically has a few abilities. So your grenades change, so they're like spider webs, so you throw them and it'll spider web all the zombies. It'll slow them right down so you can run off, have a breather, and then get back to killing. Also, when the zombies hit you, yeah, when they hit you, a web will appear as well, slowing the zombies down again. So get away, then have a breather, get back to killing. So there's that, and then a little bit of a sort of hidden feature, I guess. I mean, most people probably know about it. I don't think Paul knows about it because I don't think I've actually told him, but your knife does increased damage. So I think it's a one hit all the way up to round 7, which is a big improvement. No one's actually going to notice that at that round, because you won't have Widow's Wine at that point. You just won't. It's too expensive unless you got your perkaholic. You're not gonna have it. Probably one of my favorite ones. It saved me so many times. It can also put you into a spot of trouble sometimes if you're training and a zombie does take a swipe at you. You could freeze them all. There's that, and you also can't make crawlers, which is annoying. So if you're doing, let's say one of the Bose, I can't remember which one it is, where you have to make all the crawlers on the Ryzen rack, you won't be able to do that unless you got the gobble gum that makes all the crawlers. Probably one of my favourite perks. For me, it's probably on par with Jug, just the way I play, because I don't train an awful lot. I just tend to run around and kill whatever's in sight, which probably isn't the best way of playing, but hey, I like the perk, what can I say? Alright, so the second to last perk, so number 2, is Speed Cola. What can you say about Speed Cola? It's actually got a few features rather than just fast reloads, which is always beautiful when you got LMGs, snipers even. Fast reloads, you can't go wrong, is that it also builds up the barriers a lot faster. So on transit, that is an absolute wonderful feature. You need that a lot. Yeah, especially on the bus, you got all those things crawling all over your bus. You want them off that bus. That's a good feature. And in Black Ops 3, I think only, I didn't actually know this till quite recently. You actually drink perks faster as well. I've noticed that a lot. I'm not sure if that's an actual feature or if that's just something I've seen in the modded stuff that people have done, but it's done that as well. It is just a really good perk. 3,000 points, which I suppose is fair for a really, really essential perk. This perk is going to save your life multiple times. I mean, if you're doing big challenges, say like pack a punch every weapon on a certain map, you don't always have to rely on it. You shouldn't have to rely on it. People do rely on it, which is pretty mad, but hey, it is just a good perk. You always should buy this. Alright, so the best perk of Call of Duty Zombies. What else would it be other than your good old Juggernog? Jug. Where would we be without Jug? We would probably be dead. So Jug gives you a few extra hits to take, basically. So, and it's never changed. So in World at War, 2 hits dead. With Jug, 1 hit, an extra hit, so 3 hits. I think, pretty sure it's 3. Unless you're on for Rook, you could get the Jug glitch, which is quite funny. You can take like 20 odd hits and still live, which is just incredible. Black Ops 1 still does the same. 2 hits down with Jug, 3 hits down. And then more recently it does a bit more. I think in Black Ops 2 it's 4 hits and you go down. And then in Black Ops 3 I think it's either 4 or 5 because you have the added health. It's 3 before you go down by default. And then with Jug it's either 4 or 5. I'm pretty sure it's 5. This is something that is essential to your well-being while playing zombies. Playing without it is a nightmare. It is a perk that pretty much everyone will always buy, no matter what. It's 2,500 points, which I think is fairly cheap for what it does. You would have thought that would have been the more expensive one. But Speed Cola out the essential ones are a bit more expensive, and then you have Mule Kick and things like that, which are 4,000 points, which the price just doesn't make sense most of the time. But hey, Jug is the best perk. There's probably some modded perks that I've seen, which are probably just as good as Jug. Snail Pace Slurpee, that probably makes Jug unnecessary, because that is a very, very good modded perk where the zombies get too close to you, they slow right down, you're basically unstoppable with that. That on top of Jug, unbeatable. But that's on modded only, which is a bit sad. I would have liked to have seen a perk like that in zombies. It is the best perk. Well, no one will disagree. If you do, you need a good long think about why you're playing zombies. You just shouldn't be playing if you disagree with that. Right, so that is all the perks ranked from worst to best, all 18 of them, if I counted right. If I missed any, I'll have to go back and add them in later. But that is all the perks. If you did like this video, please like and subscribe. Go check the description for multiple things, such as the Discord, where you can get involved in making the lists for these, or the different topics. You can also check the Patreon, which is down below, and you can check the merchandise, which is also down below. Check all of that, and we will be great friends for life. I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.